Yeah. So Dr. Zhang, I think you can start.
Okay, well, thank you, Sherry. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to entertain everybody. Hello, everybody, with a chemistry topic, probably not the hottest topic on a Saturday night, but we're all parents, and I understand and I feel the same as you, and our kids' education are extremely important. I see we might have parents, we might have students here. Is that right? Wonderful. So, well, good evening, everybody. My name is Jinsang Zhang. I am going to share some information about chemistry education, chemistry research with you tonight. I wanted to have a few of the topics covered today. And of course, why do we study chemistry? What are the chemistry courses that's available? And how to select and plan your chemistry classes in high school, and how to effectively study chemistry, how to be successfully prepare the possible tests, and a little bit about scientific research. And hopefully, and that'll give you a good sense about what you or your students could do to show the best of them in their college application. So first, why do we study chemistry? Because chemistry is important, right? It's probably the only subject that covers everything in life. Everything is made up of some kind of elements, and study chemistry is fascinating. And of course, it is very important in your college application. I will come back and talk a little bit more about this. It is also a mandatory course in many of the colleges and universities. Very importantly, the whole reason that these are important is because it provides that fundamental knowledge and train you and your students the critical thinking and problem solving skills for your career, for essentially any career. So chemistry class is required for many of the college applications, particularly if you're interested in STEM, in any medical field. Even though you are interested in become a lawyer, you are interested in art, music, liberal arts, humanities, psychology, and any of the other fields, having an AP chemistry class in your transcript, having an AP chemistry course score reported when you are applying for college is an indication of you having strong critical thinking and problem solving skills. That essentially gave the admission officer the confidence that you would be a perfect fit to their esteemed university. So it's quite crucial, no matter your future career goal is in STEM or not, and having this class is showing that your ability, your potential. And show you a couple of examples from Princeton. They said in their admission website, they mentioned that we expect students will complete the following courses before beginning study at Princeton. That include English, math, foreign languages, and at least 2 years of laboratory science. That means physics, chemistry, and potentially biology for students who are interested in science, engineering. And so it's quite crucial here, right? Another example, Carnegie Mellon, they have really great College of Engineer, their engineer program, computer science program are top notch. And the high school course requirements also include a 1 year of chemistry for College of Engineering and a 2 year of science, including chemistry, biology, or computer science for their computer science program. So as you can see that chemistry is quite important, not only in terms of the content, but also in terms of that problem solving skills and showing off that the potential of your student. And they really look into chemistry greatly. And interestingly, I'm not supposed, it's not on my slides, but I just wanted to share that when I advise my college students, my pre-med students, my pre-pharmacy students, and they tend to, if they are chem major, they tend to get a better admission opportunity to their career pathway simply because the admission officers look into their chemistry background as an indication of their ability. So in high school, and the chemistry courses are offered, including what we call a high school chemistry or regular chemistry. This is more or less a fundamental introduction of chemistry. Maybe you learn a lot of history of chemistry, how atoms are discovered, are formed, and are discovered, and so on. You learn some chemistry knowledge, but from a science perspective, it's rather basic. Okay, and this is the only slide. I'm gonna have that high school or regular chemistry list, and this is the only time I'm going to talk about it for tonight. And what's really demanding or showing your potential in your high school science study would be your honors chemistry, okay? Typically for 9th or 10th graders. And it's a really great starting point. You really learn about atomic structure, chemical equations, important calculations, and models, and so on. Usually Algebra 1 is required in most of high school. And nowadays with the integrated math, it's generally considered as if you are doing or passing integrated math 2 or 3, and you should be qualified to take honors chemistry. And of course, the next level is the AP chemistry, and typically 10th, 11th, or 12th graders would take that class. It is a lot more challenging and of course, equally rewarding for your college application because you are truly trained for critical thinking, problem solving, analytical skills. And you should pass or finishing up or taking Algebra 2 or Integrated Math 3 to take the class. As far as as I mentioned, as the chemistry class that I'm gonna discuss with you tonight, I will be primarily focusing on honors and more on AP chemistry. I know you may know more or less about this, so if you feel I could go a little faster or slower, feel free to leave something on the chat so I can fulfill that. Some parent asked me to make the slide presentation full screen. That's how I could do a full screen at this point. That's the biggest I could show. Do you guys not see this well? And Sherry, are we able to share this with some of the audience? We have this recorded, right?
Yes, you can click the presentation.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we have this recorded if you couldn't see things well or if you need any clarification. Wonderful. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, it looks like most of you could see well. All right. So the next thing I'd like to do is to kind of compare honors chemistry to AP chemistry. Honestly, there is no huge distinguish the difference between the two. And in terms of content, they cover similar content, except that if we are doing a scale of 1 to 5, your honors chemistry would have a scale of 1 to 3 with rather limited materials compared to the AP chemistry. On the other hand, AP chemistry only covers 2 to 3 large chapters, more than the honors chemistry. What's the difference further between the two classes are how details orientated between the two courses. AP chemistry definitely require a better understanding of the concepts with more details, with more difficulty. And of course, AP chemistry also teach you or with more analytical skills, problem solving skills. So honors chemistry really could be a good stepstone for you to be prepared with the AP chemistry. I will talk about how these different letters of different chemistry classes could get you prepared. And I'm gonna talk more about AP chemistry because, as I mentioned, that honors is a preparation for AP. If you are ever interested in a STEM career or even non-STEM career, you should all consider taking AP chemistry. No pressure. I will talk a little bit about strategies as well, but AP chemistry definitely has advantages. Okay, it gives you the high weighted GPA, right? For your GPA calculation, definitely that admission plus, and it could be counted toward your college credit. A lot of university would consider your AP chemistry as fulfilling that either a general education requirement or your majors requirement. Okay, and it's satisfy a lot of prerequisites for other classes. So it's a nice idea to consider taking AP chemistry. Give you a little bit more information about AP chemistry. There are a total of 6 science practices emphasized by College Board, right? That lovely organization that administers all the AP exams, SATs, and so on. They have over 200 pages of the AP chemistry catalog guidance that I read constantly, trying to make sure that the materials I teach my students are up to speed because they change that often, frequently. Okay, so the 6 fundamental skills they are really looking into, including models and representations, questions and method, and representing data and phenomena, right? Observation, model analysis, that's very important skill, and mathematical routines and lots of mathematical calculations in the AP chemistry, and argumentation, really be able to explain scientific argument, scientific data, be able to analyzing data. And in terms of the AP chemistry content wise, there are a total of 9 units, okay? And unit 1, 2, 3, 4, along with 6, are more or less the foundations for AP chemistry. Generally speaking, these are the units, the materials will be covered in the first semester of your AP chemistry curriculum. And then unit 5, 7, 8, 9 are more in depth, more extension from what you learned from the first semester. They're usually covered in the second semester of your AP chemistry classes. And the specific topics including matters, measurements, atoms, equations, thermodynamics, and so on. And you will learn each of these topics in depth in AP chemistry. AP chemistry is really it's one of my favorite classes. It really gets your students prepared for whatever career they're looking into. Okay, STEM, non-STEM, and so on. In terms of the AP chemistry, I want to give you a little bit more information about AP chemistry, that exam in particular. Okay, and there are, for this academic year, it's already determined, going to be on May 6th. It's a Tuesday. And there are 2 sections and a multiple choice section with 60 questions. You're given 1.5 hours to work on that. Means per question you would spend about, on average, 1.5 minutes per question. This first part, section 1, counts for 50% of your exam score. And I will elaborate a little bit more in the following slides. So the second part is the free response questions. There are total 7 questions, and you are given 1 hour and 45 minutes. And it also counts toward half of your total exam score for your AP chemistry. And among the 7 questions, there are 3 long answers. Each of the long answers would have 7-ish, sometimes 6, sometimes 8, mostly 7 questions that are related. And there are 4 short answer questions, typically 3 to 4 questions there. And So if you notice that the points given are not consistent to the number of questions that's given, for instance, for the long answers, there are typically 7 questions, but worth 10 points. So some of the questions worth 1, some worth 2. And along with the short answer question, you have a typically 3 to 4. So sometimes you would have a question worth 2 points. And these questions are really the kind of questions that testing you for all the course skills, the ones I talk about, the models, question methods, data, analysis, mathematical analysis, and argumentation. Okay, so for the first part, for section 1, and there are some single questions, just ask you one knowledge point. Sometimes there are a group of questions based on a common statement. Okay, this section, to take this section, you are not allowed to take your calculator in. So there are some questions you can see numbers. Okay, I'll show you one example momentarily. But those are the kind of numbers that you can easily either calculate out quickly with your brain, or you can just look at the numbers and come up with your conclusion, come up with your answer immediately. Okay, so those kind of questions, 60 questions, really covers everything that AP Chemistry is included. So it requires a lot of understanding. Okay, I will talk about understanding again. Requires some memorization, requires lots of drills. Okay, you need to practice a lot because you're not going to spend 1.5 minutes on each question. Some of the questions you may just see the answer immediately. Some of the questions you might need more time to really dive in, what you know, how you're going to solve it, how you're going to analyze the problem, right? So, but drilling on getting prepared is very important. We're going to do a lot of drill in the Springlight. Okay, so for section 2, it's typically students consider it's really hard because there's no answer listed there for you to choose from. You have to really do every problem yourself. Okay, one thing I'd like to emphasizing is some of the questions are experiment oriented. Okay, so that being said, when you are at school taking chemistry classes, you should really pay attention to all the experiments, okay, and be prepared. Before you step into your lab, you should already read, get really prepared. You could, in your brain, you could picture what you're doing. Okay, you should be able to run through the procedures. And then in the lab, you could take advantage of the whole lab period, really have your hands on, really practice, really be able to be a pro on that. Following that, and that's my job, okay, I will help you very detail oriented on how you're going to summarize your data. I will teach you the strategies on summarizing your data, and we will mentally go over what you've done in the lab. Like when you are taking your AP exam, you have to mentally know what you are doing, right? And then be able to analyze the data, be able to do your calculation, be able to come up with your conclusion, okay? And for section 2, you are scored on the basis of accuracy and relevance, and your explanation needs to be clear, concise, and organized, because you only have 1 hour and 45 minutes for so many problems. Okay, and there are definitely a lot of calculations there. You need to clearly show your method. You need to clearly show the steps you're doing, and because you may get a partial credit even if you got the problem incorrect. Even if your final answer is incorrect, you have all the important information laid out that your AP readers might find that you have a really good understanding of the concept. Your readers might give you partial credit, particularly for the problems that are count for 2 points. Okay, and again, my job is to make sure that you know how to do it, how to solve a problem systematically, step by step, and also trying to train you to try to get the final answer correct. So you don't have to worry about partial credit, you get a full credit, right? That's our goal, get full credit. here are some statistics, okay? And as you can see that to get a 5, and there are only national-wise, there are only 10 to 17% of a 5, and there's 15 to 27% of 4s and 3s and 2s and 1s, okay? And I will explain to you that what 5, 4, 3 really entail. But generally speaking, getting a 5 or 4 is not easy. But nowadays, getting a 3 is getting easier. I will explain to you that that's the good news and versus that is definitely a good news from that perspective. Okay, but it's still challenging to get a 5. All right, so 5 means you are extremely well qualified to move to the next level for your understanding. You're truly understanding the material. It corresponds to an A in the college grade level. And if you get a 4, that means you are well qualified. You are probably somewhere between B and A minus in that college grade level. Okay. And if you get a 3, that means you are okay. You are qualified to move on to the next level of class. You are qualified to be considered that you are done okay with this class. Your grades are not as amazing, right? You still have C to B minus. So generally speaking, when you are applying for college, if you get particularly for a hard class like chemistry, if you get a 3, reporting on AP grades is not mandatory. But if you get a 3, you could consider reporting it. However, this is not advising, okay? I'm a professor, I'm an instructor. I'm not doing advising as much as Sherry or my other colleagues at Springlight. So get an advisor, get a counselor as soon as possible. So you would look at your goal, look at what kind of universities you are applying, and then deciding on what kind of AP score you should report, okay? And honestly, it's never hurt. It's never too early to get professional help, okay? And in terms of how are you going to select and plan chemistry classes, and you should really know yourself, okay? What's your goal? What is your career goal? What kind of university are you looking into to apply? And what is your schedule, okay? And how many science class are you taking? Is your school have any restrictions on how many science class you could take? And what is your potential? Can you handle this? This is a really hard course. And but as long as you put in your highest possible potential, and you could get there. Okay. So as from my perspective, definitely you want to challenge yourself. Okay, you want to plan on putting on 120, 150% of yourself into this class, into other challenging classes to really try your best. Okay, but still be smart, be strategic, have a plan. Okay, what are your extracurriculums? Are you doing piano, tennis, swimming, golf at the same time, doing AP chemistry, AP physics, and AP calculus, right? You need to have a plan, and strongly recommend you to get started as early as possible, okay? And getting a counselor, get a matrix, a 4-year plan before you enter high school. Okay, and some early families even started in the middle school. Really get a plan so you know in which year you're taking what classes and what kind of teachers are you looking into to write recommendation letter for you. Are you having what is your school requirement? What is the restriction of your school? What classes you can take with Springlight to help you to be better prepared? Okay, to effectively study chemistry, you need to be strong in math, Okay, we do a lot of calculations, and particularly in the second half of chemistry, we do kinetics, equilibrium, all kinds of cool calculations, electrochemistry. So we calculate electric potentials for your batteries and so on. We calculate a lot of great things. We calculate energy associated to your reactions, changes, and so on. Okay, understanding the fundamental concepts is really important. Okay, you have to be able to understand the concepts and be able to build your strong foundation. Memorization and analysis are also important. Okay, with the development of modern technology, with the AI, lots of people, lots of school started to downrate memorization. That is wrong, particularly in science, STEM education. That is so wrong. I am so worried. Because if you understand the concept, you still need to memorize it, make it your own in order to build your strong foundation. You can't only have breaks, you need to really mold them together. Okay, your memorization plays a very important role. And you have to be able to have a strong foundation in order to build the next level and followed by the next, and in order to get to the top of your pyramid. Okay, only if you understand and memorize those fundamentals, you can use them to analyze your data. Okay, and you can't just say when you are trying to calculate, for instance, an equilibrium constant for a reaction, you see, no, wait a minute, I still don't know how to write the equation yet. I need to look it up online, look at the chemical formula, or look at the state of these particular compounds, because equilibrium constant expression don't include solid or liquid, and we only include gas or solution. Okay, but you can do that because you need to move on, right? You're wasting your own time. And so you have to build a strong foundation in order to move on, to really get to the level you want to get to. Okay, and if other people don't care about memorization, it's their loss. Okay, and you're gonna be ahead of the game if you put in your effort to study hard. Okay, the facts, the chemical formula, equations, concepts, principles really need a lot of understanding and memorization. Okay, and lab is a very important part. Chemistry is an experimental science. When I'm teaching, and I'm teaching on Zoom, but I'm always telling you, hey, could be a really good lab. I'm gonna design the lab this way, and if I do it, how are you going to get important data from this? Okay, because we are really learning from lab. And in my career, I'm actively working in the lab. I'm doing research in the lab, because that's what chemistry is. Okay, and of course, a lot of practice. Always make sure you read before you come to class. You bring your question over, so you know what your teacher is going to talk about, and you know which part is important, which part is harder. Okay, and in the class, actively writing your notes. Nowadays, I see a lot of students stop writing notes. They're waiting for their instructor to provide them that study guide. That's not going to be enough. Okay, and you need to build a strong foundation. Write your own notes, actively participating in questions, actively participating in class. Okay, after class, you need to review the contents. Okay, really make sure you understand the contents, rewrite your lecture notes, finish off your homework problems, do all the optional practice test problems, just do as much as possible. Okay, if your instructor ever give you any practice test, AP College Board have lots of old exams there, have lots of questions and practice there. Really make sure you know every one of them. You can do it super well. You're not only gonna do it well. You understand the rationale behind it. You understand why this question is asking this way. If somebody asks you a similar question related to the similar material, can you successfully answer it and be a pro? Okay. And here is a little timeline in terms of what all of these is about. Okay, so in school, in fall and spring, you take honors chemistry or AP chemistry in fall and spring, and Springlight actually offers a prep class in the summer, and I was very lucky, very fortunate to have some really brilliant students in my summer session, and it was just so much fun to interact with them. And I gave them quizzes, I give them homeworks, and they're just amazing. And I'm sure, I don't know if any of you will hear the names. I see one or two familiar names, and not a whole lot. Okay, and but I'm sure you guys are ahead of your classmates because you took that summer class. Okay, and also in AP exam is in May. Okay, that's by then you should already done with all of that. And in Springlight, we also offer honors chemistry and AP classes during the normal semester. Our class is offered between September to February. Okay, so the idea is in September, my pace is relatively similar to your pace if you are taking chemistry in class, but toward spring, I'm actually ahead of the pace of your school. What's gonna happen is you're gonna actually build your strong foundation with me. You're gonna learn this chemical kinetics the first time from me, okay? And then once you go to school, you're gonna be ahead of your classmates. And if you really like chemistry so much, like I do, and you should consider taking the chemistry Olympiad. Okay, USNCO starts in March, and it's the local test is in March. It's made up of the multiple choice questions only, 110 minutes for 60 questions. Okay, and qualification is tough, two max per school, and honestly, if you are able to make the qualification, that's already a big achievement. Okay, I know a lot of you guys, a lot of your students are overachievers, but this is already means you are top 1% of your school, right? And then if you are moving on to nationals, it's gonna be in April, and it's gonna have 60 multiple choice questions, again, similar to local, but with a shorter time. Okay, again, that drill has to be there. Okay, there's also going to be free response questions, and this is very similar to that AP exam. Okay, these first two parts are very similar to AP exam, and part 3 is experiments related. Okay, so usually when I'm training my students with USNCO, we talk about labs, but we'll primarily talk about when we are preparing for local tests, we're talking about labs, but primarily using that as a way for you to understand material to get prepared for your local test. And between March and April, and that's when we really drill on labs, really make sure you are really get prepared. Okay, and if you make the top 150, you got honors. If you make top 50, you got high honors. And if you make it to top 20, you are invited to join the national camp, and you're gonna learn and practice in a different level. And it's fun, it's challenging, but it's really fun. Okay, and what's in USNCO? It's a lot. Your AP chemistry will be a really strong foundation. Once you build that strong foundation, you want to go in more depth and broader up the scope. And there are also coordination chemistry, organic chemistry, and biochemistry included. Not a whole lot, okay? And coordination chemistry could be a full course, organic and biochemistry, these are all full courses. But with the USNCO, it's more relatively fundamental and more looking at your problem solving skills, how you would be able to solve a problem in this field. Okay, and there's also lab experiments, and you also need lots of calculation skills in your USNCO. And to be successfully prepared the tests, of course, you always start with honors, okay, and you move on to AP. And if you are really interested, you can consider USNCO. And with this increasing depth and scope, and it's not only the knowledge, right? It's not only the content, it's the problem solving skill. It's really important and really cool. and Springlight can definitely help. We have classes in every level that could really help you out. Okay, and they give you a little sense about the difference between AP and USNCO. For instance, here I have 3 acids and with different concentration and showing different pH. Okay, so the lower pH, the stronger the acid, typically speaking, generally speaking. And because this is a multiple choice, so you're not, even though there are lots of numbers provided here, you don't need really any calculation here. Okay, for instance, if you look at Y and Z, they have same pH but different concentration. For Y, a lower concentration of Y giving you the same pH as a higher concentration of Z, that indicates Y is a stronger acid. Okay, so answer B and D would be the only possible correct answer here. And X is even easier. With very low concentration here, you already have a lower pH, and X is the strongest acid. So you could easily pick on D as your correct answer. So that's kind of what the AP multiple choice level. But for USNCO, it's a lot more in depth. For instance, when you have a potassium carbonate solution and the pH is given, but if you are trying to figure out what's the concentration of this solution, you need to look into potassium carbonate being a strong electrolyte, and potassium and carbonate are completely dissociated in water, and your carbonate could be protonated by water, and you can write your carbonate protonation equation and create a little ice table, initial equilibrium and equilibrium table, initial change equilibrium table, and write your equilibrium expression and do your calculation. Eventually come to the right answer. There are similar questions in AP in the free response, but relatively easier. Okay, slightly easier than the USNCO. And lastly, last topic of the 8 topics I want to talk about, because I want to save time for you to ask questions. I tend to talk too much. Scientific research. Okay, if you're interested, go to American Chemical Society website. There are lots of information about scientific research at graduate level, undergraduate level, high school level. Okay, and really education, what is the goal of education, right? This Bloom's taxonomy really tells us that foundation is understanding and memorization, followed by application, analysis, evaluation, and then being creative. Okay, so our goal is to train our kids and to build that strong foundation, and generally moving up for the pyramid, eventually be able to be beneficial to our society. Okay. At undergraduate level, usually you would conduct research in many different ways, and you wanted to probably kind of identify your goals and start your research by the end of the first year, and then moving on in the following years, really going in depth. And that would be a really great stepstone to your graduate school, okay, and to medical school, to graduate school, any professional school. And for graduate school, college, fellowship, grant application, for all of that, you are evaluated in 2 things. Okay, one is your intellectual, how you intellectually you have the potential to advance your knowledge. Second is the broader impact. How is your potential, or how are you potential to benefit the society? Again, feel free to look at the ECS website to read more about that. So that's basically your student will be evaluated for their college application, right? For they're gonna be checked on in terms of how they're prepared in terms of intellectually and meritly, and how they would impact our society. Okay, so the high quality high school research could lead to many different products. Okay, you could participate in competitions. Okay, you could have presentations, present to a professional conference. You could co-author of a journal paper, and so on. Okay, if you have any one of these product And that is a really great thing. That's really great achievement in your college application. Okay. And the research opportunities are, there are a lot of research opportunities, but they are all very competitive. Here, we listed a few of them. One is the UC Santa Cruz Science Internship Program. For all of them, their 2025 informations are not out yet. Okay, but for their 2024 summer research, the application is in March, so that gives you a ballpark idea. And of course, these famous Cosmos, California State Summer School for Mathematics and Science. That's probably every science student's dream place to go to. And their applications are usually early. It's January to February, okay? And for all of these, I had a bullet points here, but for all of these, you have the opportunity to directly interact with a college professor to really learn about the research. Okay, and of course, UC Santa Barbara has this research mentor program, and then the Stanford has a really great program, outreach program, that in every field. Okay, and Santa Barbara and Stanford, the program in Santa Barbara, including every field, history and liberal arts, science, and all of that. Okay, and Stanford has really great opportunities. And UPenn has a really great summer research academy if you ever truly thinking about chemistry. And there is this nonprofit organization called Aspiring, and they have some really great opportunities with summer research. It's in Fremont as well. Okay, so hopefully these informations are helpful for you to look into summer research opportunities. To get you prepared, okay? And to get you prepared, you really need to build your reading and writing skills. That's the first step for you to be able to conduct scientific research, okay? Be able to learn how to conduct literature search, okay? These are extremely important. And so you should be able to read a research paper. It's very different from the reading that by leisure, or very different from reading in your honors English class, okay? And you need to be able to extract the main points, okay? Looking at the data, what are the data really tells you, and summarize it. These are very essential skills to conduct research, okay? And here at Springlight, we can help you, okay? And I can help you to learn how to read scientific papers, and how to summarize data, and really fill in the gap between your regular reading and your scientific reading and writing, because they are different. Okay, one of my research students is wanted to be a freelancer writers, and extremely strong in science, and I was like, well, you have to write this paper for me. Once you are finished writing this paper full round from the very beginning, from abstract all the way to conclusion and to supplementary materials, and you are probably ready. Okay, so lots of information there out there to help your student to improve. And if you need more information about our education at Springlight, and look at our website or call this number. And I think we still have time for Q&A. Right, Sherry?
Yes. So, thank you, Dr. Zhang. So for audience, if any questions, and if you come from different high school, you have any concern for your school's honor class or AP class, you can ask here. So, yeah, for some high schools in the Bay Area, yeah. So I know some. Let me read the message. Do you conduct research that a high school scholar can participate? Yeah, current we don't have yet, but if your child wants to learn more, so you can contact us. So we can you can talk to Dr. Zhang. Dr. Zhang has many years research experience. Yeah, we can talk the more. So Springlight will have the have a new class will start soon, the next week. So honor chemistry class and AP chemistry class, yeah. So help students for the honor chemistry class, help students for their high school GPA, help them understand the school's curriculum better. And for AP chemistry class, and many high school like Limburg High School and Gang High School, their honor chemistry class is really, really hard, actually close to AP. So we encourage students for you love science and you want to challenge yourself, you can take our AP chemistry class while you are taking school's honor chemistry class. You can take AP class here. Then your next month, you need to start to register for the AP test. You can register AP test for next May, and then you can take so next February, we will have a AP test prep class. You can take the class. So actually in some high school, they limit the students 1 year only one AP class and one science class. But for the science, there are 3 science classes, the core science class, biology, chemistry, and physics. How a student can take of the AP biology, AP chemistry, AP physics in the all 4 years is really hard. So we encourage students. So if you are taking honor chemistry class at a school and your school honor chemistry class also challenge, then you can take a split AP chemistry class. So we can help you to prepare your AP chemistry test. Okay, let me see the question. How do you feel that high school student taking AP chemistry outside school? How do you feel? Okay, so if as a AO, I don't know the U, who are the U. If the U is you are the officer, they can see the student want to go beyond your schoolwork, then you start a honor chemistry class, but you take the AP test. And when you apply college, you don't have to take the class, then to take the AP test. So, but for some high school, I know there's a honor chemistry class is just is not really challenge. Is some high school the honor chemistry is teach the content just half like the Limburg's honor chemistry class or some. So if you then it's challenge, maybe you need to study more. But anyway, you can show your challenge. It's better for student apply college. How many hours of work does an AP chemistry student have to do if taking split regular session? So if student takes a split AP chemistry class, so the student normally student need to spend also 2 hours extra. But because we do not give your GPA, so the student we encourage student to do off the homework, then you can get a better grade. But if students are very busy with schoolwork, they can, yeah, you can focus on school. School GPA always more important. Will the Olympia syllabus be covered during the AP sessions? Okay, so for AP, Olympia's cover all AP, all AP chemistry is covered. AP chemistry is a foundation, but not enough. If you student prepare for the Olympia chemistry, you need to finish AP first. Then you need to study other, like some organic chemistry questions, around maybe around 5 or 6 questions, okay, not covered in the AP. So Olympia has a total 60 questions. But if you can know all of the AP level, cover the concept, you also can get to the next round. But like the doctor mentioned, it's yeah, the concept level is different. Olympia requires the different, yeah. Yeah, the class is online, yeah. For the USNCO, because USNCO, we encourage, if you student want to take the USNCO, we encourage student to take the AP class first, AP chemistry class first. All AP chemistry class will be finish early. Early. Then in the the chemistry Olympia test in the March after the AP class, then student can learn the other concept. For others, Dr. Zhang can give the private lesson. And we offer student more USNCO practice tests because online only offers the problems after 2000. But we collect the problems before 2000. We can help students do more. Okay, I will email all of you what's our class plan for we start next week. And for all of the class, our first class is a free trial. Yeah, you can parent can, if you decide to continue, then parent can take student can take the second class for the first class free trial. Okay, any more questions? Okay, Dr. Zhang is has 20 years teaching experience. Maybe Dr. Zhang introduce yourself better. Yeah.
Sure. I have a PhD in organic chemistry, and I did my postdoctoral research at UC Santa Barbara after getting my PhD, and then I started to teach college. So I have over 20 years of teaching experience, and as a parent, originally I primarily teaching college classes, general chemistry, organic chemistry, and other our capstone writing classes. But since becoming a mom, I also got really interested in the American education system, and I started to explore opportunities to teach honors and high school chemistry, which is really fun. It's really fun to study with your own kid. So, and I used all of my experience teaching college, and I'm applying them to teach the honors and the AP chemistry class. Sherry, somebody raised hand, right?
Yeah, so I'm typing answer the question. Yeah.
Lily, you have a question?
So let me see the someone asked the biology question. Okay. We offer physics, also biology classes. So I give the link for biology. You can find all the information from our website. And for website, you also can see the, let me see, we already updated Dr. Zhang's teaching example. Oh, not here. I will email everyone so the teaching samples. Okay.
Okay, well, somebody raised hand. Lily, you have a question? No? Okay.